Douglas County Corrections welcomed a new set of officers.
It's one of the largest groups of officers they've ever had. There's been a shortage in the metro ever since the start of the pandemic. As Johan Marin explains, the county is hopeful these new officers will provide relief.
Fred Cracky and 28 other new correctional officers started a new chapter today.
I'm just incredibly happy. This is a monstrous victory.
The new wave of officers is supposed to ease Douglas County Corrections' current staff shortage. Director Michael Myers says they've waited for this for a very long time.
A class of this size graduating is a huge step forward from us. We've had, our training and hiring staff have been almost working around the clock for literally years to try and maintain during this tight labor market.
Before today, there were 380 correctional officers on staff.
Our staff who've been with us through thick and thin over the past few years, working through the pandemic, working through civil unrest, have had a tremendous amount of stressors.
With today's new officers, they'll be considered fully staffed. It's the first time that's happened in the last 15 years.
Having a labor shortage as well added deeply to the struggles that they had both personally and with their families. With the long hours, unpredictable schedules, and I'm grateful that that's coming to an end and our staff are getting some relief.
Myers credits a wage increase for the increase in applications. As for Cracky, he wanted to be a correctional officer ever since he was a kid. The moment he received his official badge, he felt his dream come true.
Really to be able to make a difference, because corrections always falls sort of in the shadow of police work.
On your side, Johan Marin, 6 News.
Douglas County Corrections plan to train another set of officers starting on Monday.